It started with smoke thin at first, curling between branches like a whisper no one understood. But within moments, that whisper turned into roaring flame. Trees cracked open. Ash fell like black snow. The jungle was burning. And not a single human knew. I bring you greetings from our channel. The series is about the wilderness of India. It's home to 450 different kinds of animals, and all of them have a story to tell. Today, we will listen to a story of courage, trust, and hope. The story of the jungle fighting back. You can also become part of this story. Just subscribe and join us on our journey. Panic spread fast. Birds fled the canopy in swarms. Monkeys shrieked from tree to tree. But somewhere near the heart of the jungle, something different happened. Animals didn't run, they stayed, and they worked together. A mother elephant trumpeted 3 times short, sharp, urgent. It wasn't panic, it was a call. One by one, creatures emerged from the thickets: deer, boars, jackals, even predators. The tiger, the leopard, the lone crocodile stood still listening. The elephant had spoken, so they came. Fire was closing in, but they didn't scatter. They moved toward a dry clearing near the old stone pool. A deer came bounding over, tail high, but it stopped at the edge of the flames. It couldn't go further. The elephant stepped forward and gently touched the deer with her tusks, pushing it inside the safe zone. The deer hesitated, then went in. Then the elephant began stamping the dry grass, clearing a circle. The boars used their snouts to push debris away. Monkeys tossed fruits and soaked moss into the pool. Peacocks spread their wings wide, hissing at smoke, like guardians of something ancient. The wind shifted and the flames changed direction. A young fawn collapsed from heat. The tiger, instead of fleeing, stood beside it, using its body to shield the weak. No claws, no hunger, only instinct, one of protection. Above, a flock of parrots returned not to escape, but to warn. Their screeches circled above the fire's path, guiding movement from above. A porcupine, blinded by ash, was gently nudged by a mongoose into a burrow. The porcupine hissed, but the mongoose stayed put, guarding the entrance until the vibrations in the ground calmed down. Then it disappeared into the safety of the earth. The enemies were gone. The laws of the jungle had paused. Every creature, from prey to predator, followed an invisible order. None remembered giving it, but all obeyed it. The old tortoise that had lived there for over a century began crawling toward the spring. It knew something forgotten by man. He stopped. The animals followed his gaze. A patch of dry brush near the edge, still untouched. One by one, animals began dragging branches, wet leaves, and mud toward the fire line. Their movements weren't fast, but they were united. The smoke thickened, but so did their will. If the fire reached that brush, the whole forest would go up. So the deer and the boar and the monkeys and the crocodiles pushed and pulled and beat the flames with wet branches. With each step, the fire fought back. Sparks flew, leaves curled, but the animals held their ground. The tiger snarled, baring its teeth against the smoke. The leopard leaped over burning logs, carrying burning logs on its back. The crocodile snapped at burning reeds, pulling them into the water. Hours passed. The fire didn't win. The night grew darker. The flames leaving behind only glowing embers and the smell of burnt bark. By morning, the air was still. Trees were scarred. Ground was black. But the jungle stood, not because humans helped, but because the animals did not give up on each other. Among them, the tiger helped a deer reach safety. The leopard cradled a baby monkey, licking its burned face with its rough tongue. The crocodile kept vigil by the water, letting out distress calls whenever a wounded bird fell in, making sure nothing harmed it. This is what a true team looks like. This is what happens when you don't give up. Do you know why? Because they didn't see each other's species, they saw each other as neighbors, friends, companions. They saw each other as family. That's why they fought for each other. That's why they survived together. Our world needs more of this spirit, this sense of community. We are stronger together than we are apart. In the aftermath, when the animals surveyed the damage, a hush fell everywhere. They looked at each other, then at the ruined landscape around them, wondering how to start again. And then the elephant trumpeted. She stepped forward. As the others watched, she reached out her trunk and picked up a twig from the ground. She raised it high. In the air, the first green shoot peeked out from under the charred leaves nearby. The elephant scooped up some dirt, rubbed it on the shoot, and pressed it firmly into the ground. She looked at the other animals, then at the ravaged land around them. One by one, they understood. It was time to begin again. It was time to rebuild. That's what the elephant wanted to say. You may think it's just a simple story about a forest fire, but if you look closely, you'll realize there's much more to it. The fire cleansed the land, leaving behind fertile ash. The animals now had the chance to start over, to build a better home. But they wouldn't do it alone. They would do it together, sharing the workload. They would share their skills. The leopard, nimble and quick, would be great at catching fish. The tiger, strong and fierce, would guard the borders. The elephants, wise and patient, would teach the young ones. The birds would be their eyes in the sky, the jackals their ears in the night. They were ready to face whatever came next. Together, what? Because they had stared death in the face and survived. What kind of world could we build if we learned from them? Sometimes, survival comes through unity. And in that unity, miracles are born. If this story touched you, then let it echo further. Subscribe, like, and comment below on my channel, Jungle Echoes, Rescue, and Mysteries. In our rescue center, we try to be like these animals. We work together. Every day, we save injured, sick, and orphaned wildlife. Our team includes animal rescue and rehabilitation experts. We bring the animals back from the brink, nursing them to health. When they're ready, we release them back into the wild. Just like the animals in our story, we believe in unity. We work together with a shared goal to help animals. Will you be a part of our team? Donate now and help us continue our work. Also, watch our other videos. There are many more stories waiting for you. You never know where you might find inspiration. Until next time, this is Jungle Echoes signing off. Stay wild.